Hi everybody, and welcome to this English online meeting. We usually start with the meditation. We start meditation this time also. But we do it in another way. We start by asking us a simple question. The question is, am I here? You just ask that question to yourself. Am I here? Just wait, let it sink in. And then we close our eyes. Just landing on this spot. And we're noticing how things are coming and passing. Experiences rising and falling. Feelings rising and falling. Body sensations coming and going. And of course thoughts coming and passing. And usually we're very fascinated by this. You want specific feelings, want specific experiences. You like to think about the future. And in this non-doing meditation, we're not interested in this. We just allow it to be here, which means that we don't push anything away. We're not involving in anything, not analyzing anything. We just allow the moment, in this moment, to be exactly as it already is, without being interested in anything at all. Just sitting here, doing absolutely nothing. So whatever happens here, we just allow things to be exactly as they are. not pushing away anything, not interested in anything, stopping all searching, stop all trying, stop all doing, just sitting here, doing absolutely nothing. And if thoughts are grabbing attention, we just remember the instruction, not being interested in it. We simply allow it to be here though. We don't push anything away. We don't push any thoughts away. Everything coming here is allowed to be here exactly as it is. We are simply not interested in anything, not even thoughts, but we allow it to be here. Just sitting here, doing absolutely nothing. And if emotions are rising, we treat them in the same way as with thoughts. Everything is allowed to be as it is, even emotions. We don't try to fix them. We don't try to run away from them. We don't try to push them away. We just let them be here as everything else, as all phenomena rising and falling, as body sensations, lights, thoughts, whatever. Everything is allowed to be exactly as it is in the moment. We are simply not interested in anything of it. Just sitting here, doing absolutely nothing. Okay, we can take 1 to 2 minutes to come out of meditation. So, friends, I see that all of us here is actually coming into individual sessions. So then you can be a little bit more quick and more advanced in what we talk about here. For instance, the questions are coming sometimes about acceptance. If I just accept the situation, everything will be fine. It's just about accepting the situation. Or at least accept that I can't accept, maybe. But still, the acceptance of a situation is usually heard, and you can read books about it, and you can go to courses, accepting yourself or whatever. For instance, accepting that Indians go to party on Saturday nights. Yes, Floyd. Accept, but who? We'll come back to that about the parties a little later. We finish with the party. What is this acceptance? If I accept the situation as it is, then everything will be fine. But we know from our work together in our individual sessions that we have been looked a little bit deeply into this idea about thinking. And we discovered, if you have not changed your mind, we discovered that we can't see that we are actually creating our thoughts. Quite weird discovery, but when we have looked together, we discovered that actually I can't see or say that I'm creating the thoughts. I don't see any process of creating the thoughts. I don't see that now I'm going to create a thought. It's going to have this content, and I'm not preparing to create a thought. And now it's coming, now I'm creating it, now it's come. We don't see that kind of process of creation of thoughts from a personal me perspective. So we saw in our individual sessions that it doesn't seem to be the case. It's just a belief that we are creating the thoughts. Which means if we go to decisions, which is connected to acceptance, that's why we go here into decisions. It means that decision making is also a thought process. If I choose this option, it will have these consequences. If I choose that option, it will have these consequences. Okay, I will choose this one. A. Decision is made. The discussion is thinking. The final decision is also thought. But if we have seen, as we have done, that we can't see or say that we are creating our thoughts. It means that we can't see or say that we are making any decisions either. We have never made any wrong decisions in our entire life. Actually, when we look, it's only belief that we do so. Which means, who is going to decide to accept the situation or not accept the situation? Is that it's not chooser. If we don't create decisions, if we don't make decisions, because that's what we see when we look, we don't see any person making any decision. It means that we cannot make a decision to accept or not accept the situation. So it seems that this concept of acceptance, it is built on the idea that there is someone who can make a choice of accepting or not accepting. But as we have seen when we are discovering it, when we are looking at it, investigating it, we don't see anyone making decisions. So the acceptance or non-acceptance of a situation seems to be totally irrelevant for what is happening, because there's no one there to accept or not accept. So this is just one more angle of this belief that there is someone here who has control, someone here who is creating thoughts, someone here who is making decisions, and someone here who is accepting or not accepting a situation. But the idea in itself, but we can make this decision, okay, I will accept it now, or not accept it now. That is another burden on our shoulders. Don't we have enough? Now another burden comes as some kind of, so to speak, new age, maybe, quote, that I just have to accept the situation, everything will be fine. But when we look, we don't see anyone doing that. It's just a new body. Oh, I can't accept the situation. I can't accept it. And we believe that there's someone here who can't accept it. But there's no power to accept or not accept. So the question of acceptance comes back to the same basic idea that we are usually looking at here in these meetings, that there is a belief in a person who can accept or not accept it. But we don't see that when we look. So we can take away one more burden from our shoulders and to see that, I don't have to accept or not accept. Actually, there's no one there to do that either. And just to see that the concept of acceptance actually put one more burden on us. When we look at it, we see it's empty. The concept is actually empty. It was a short talk today. So Floyd, in accepting that Indians go to parties on Saturday night, well, it's not about accepting that or not accepting that, but who's going to do that? It's just what is. And if they choose to go to a party today instead of coming here, well, that is what is happening. There was no one choosing to go to a party even, because there's no chooser. It's just happened this way. No one to blame, because there is no one. I don't know if that is not a question from you, Floyd. I suppose it's just a comment. Okay, that was a short talk today. Yeah. So anybody have any questions? Sometimes I get upset when nobody comes, Lord Freud say. Okay, sometimes I get upset when nobody comes. This is very beautiful input to the new looking, that, yeah, exactly, the person me. So that is an idea that people should come. I have put a lot of work in this, a lot of hours to make comments and introducing this group, 100 people, fantastic, 3 days. And then 13 comes. And then there's a personal me getting upset. But this is what is happening. So the question is, can we know that it should be different from what it is? How can we know that this moment should be different from what it is? It is this. Can you see that, Floyd? Yeah. There are hundreds of ways in which this personal me can grab attention. Hundreds. And they are not coming one per day. No, they are coming 100 per day. Starting in the morning. Oh, I'm so hungry. Uh-huh. Are you hungry? I thought it was the body which was hungry, to be honest. That's okay, because we know that we are not eating, even if we say so. Oh, don't disturb me, I'm eating. But we know somehow that it's not any me, some kind of ghostly me person somewhere who's eating. We know that it's a body eating, of course. It's just one example how this me is coming into 100 of forms every day. The wounded me suddenly comes up when someone says something to us. The not appreciated me, quite often. The controlling me, the chooser me, the good me. The list is long, and everybody has their own list, depending on the background, interests, ambitions, and so on. But just to become aware that this me is not only one, it's actually coming in many, many clothes. And to become aware that, now the me are coming again. What we have been doing here in these individual sessions is to discover this. So this is what we do in these activities. These group sessions is just one part of it. The major part of our work is individual sessions, where we discover this beautiful permanent freedom state, which is already here. Is already here, present in everyone. Everyone is totally enlightened now. It just has to be discovered. And this is what we do, mostly in the individual sessions, by guidance. Guidance in the so-called non-doing meditation. And if you like to do it on your own, you can do that, but it's not a mandatory thing. It's not teaching here. There's not any exercises at all. We just stop all exercises. It's about discovering what is already here. Why not exercises? Because exercises means that I'm not there. I need to do something to get there. I go from A to B. I am not enlightened, so I have to do this here to get enlightened there. But that is a mistake. That's a misunderstanding. You're already there. This shining, blissful, loving being is already shining behind everything, also in activity, not only meditation. So it's about discovering that you are already free. This is what we mostly do in the individual sessions. By first guiding to this place in meditations, as we had a little taste of in the beginning here, and then to see why is not this beautiful state of harmony and peace, which I see in meditations, why is it not there in the daily activity? If they say it is here all the time, if you believe this guy is saying this, why is it not there? It's because our beliefs, which is totally overshadowing the state which is always here, in meditation or not. So in the second part, we have only two parts. In the second part, we are questioning our beliefs about ourselves. And these beliefs is of several kinds. It can, for instance, be that this moment is not enough. It's not complete. Something is wrong with this moment. This is not true, actually. That is what we believe. or a belief that life will be awful in the future. It will be just going down. So you see what happened in the past. It will be the same and more awful in the future. We believe in the thought which are coming about the future, but the thinking doesn't know anything about the future. And the third part is, of course, I'm not good enough. I'm worthless. I'm not meant for happiness in this world. I'm a loser. I will never get it. All kinds of beliefs of this poor little person that we think is here, which has been here for a long time, maybe from childhood mostly. And the fourth part, which is, I have to fix my life. I have to put myself together now and fix my life. I have to, I must, I need to do this. Otherwise, I don't feel good. Not true. And the ideas about ourselves are not good enough. Not true. The moment is not complete. Not true. Future is awful. Not true. So we go through all kinds of beliefs that we have about ourselves, which makes our daily life very uncomfortable, maybe even awful. And see that none of them are true. But it's not easy to just say it in a general instruction to you here in a group. It's much easier to look at it because it is about you. It's about your discoveries that you are already free now. So this is what we do in the individual sessions. We go through your story, not history. We just go through what is in the present moment. What is the obstacle in the present moment to see that you're already free? So it's not so much about seeing something, come to some kind of beautiful, blissful place. It's about removing the obstacles that makes you not see it in the present moment because it's already there. This is the work we do. And everybody's welcome, free of charge. We usually work live if people are here physically. Just now I'm in Arambol in Goa, or online, or starting live and then go online. 75% of the people coming is online. It works splendidly, to my surprise, I would say. It works fantastic. People who are waking up, I had never met them. So, okay. I'll stop a little bit. Any questions from anybody about anything?
Yeah, so you gave an example, excuse me, I'm waking up here, about eating. You wake up, say, oh, I'm hungry. So yeah, that's probably the body making the decision, but there are kinds of hungry that don't have much to do with the body, like, oh, I'm in a bad mood. I know a liter of Haagen-Dazs, that would do it. That's a different kind of hungry. So could you speak to that? I'm not saying that that's particular one is my issue, but it's one I've heard people talk about, certainly.
You mean about ice? You mean about ice cream?
Yeah.
Well, eating is a signal from the body. Start with a signal. And of course, the body likes to have some things. It's the same with animals. They like to have sweet things, for instance. And then that is what is happening. There's still no me who decides to go to the refrigerator. A signal coming from the body, remembering this fantastic ice cream from yesterday evening. And then the thinking is helping. That maybe that is the remembrance. Maybe there is some left here in the freezer. So they say, and then the body obeys the thinking and goes to the freezer and starts to eat it. Maybe, or maybe there's another thought coming, or it's not good for me actually. But the thought, whatever it means, whatever it manifests itself as, is still something which we are not creating. This is what we started to talk about, that we have seen in the individual sessions, that we can't say or see that we are creating the thoughts arising.
So I wanted to interject something here.
Yeah.
I'm talking more about, excuse me, about the kind of thought of I'm not feeling good, but there's ice cream in the refrigerator. Maybe you see where I'm going with that?
To somehow run away from not feeling good to feeling better because I'm eating ice cream. Yeah. Then that thought is happening. Then that thought is arising. And again, because we don't see any, when we look, investigate, it's not a philosophy here. When we investigate, we see that there is no one creating the thoughts. This thought is also happening by itself. You could say it's a part of our story. It's a part of the story which is unfolds from moment to moment. Things are happening all the time. It's a flow. It's a dance, you can say. Experiences, feelings, and thoughts is just dancing, coming one after the other. One experience is coming and then it goes away. And the thought is coming and goes away. The thought is also an experience, which is coming and goes away. It's just part of the flow. And if there is an idea, you shouldn't eat so much ice cream because you get fat and you get diabetes and you will die before you know it, then that thought is coming by itself. And we have been looking at it and we see that there is we cannot see that there's anybody creating it. It's just part of the show, you could say. Just part of the movie. I don't know if that's answering your question, Fritz.
Well, I guess I was wondering about the aspect of masking or running away, or people run away from their thoughts, their feelings in a lot of ways.
Of course, and the running away is some kind of psychological issue. We should not run away and so on. And you can even hear from this guy here that we should not run away from anything. We should look, why is it here? But actually, the running away, if it's happening, is also just happening. But that is very, very deep, Fritz. I'm so to speak, looking from the top of the mountain now when we say this. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help us to see that we are already free by saying that everything is just happening by itself. It doesn't help.
Like a slogan.
It's more of a slogan, We so to speak, have to look. Why am I not feeling good? Because otherwise you shouldn't come here to these meetings. Something is missing. Something I don't feel satisfaction. In fact, 100% satisfaction. Something is going on. Something's wrong here. Maybe something wrong with me. All kind of stuff. So this is what we are looking at here. And that is much more down to earth than this little bit up there. Everything is happening by itself. Yeah, from that level seen, everything is happening by itself, including actually the seeing, including the questioning. Why do I feel bad? Because it's a very important question. Why do I don't feel good? And actually, to be a little bit more mysterious then, it's actually life which shows us something. You don't feel good because you have misunderstood something. So life is showing us that you have misunderstood something here. That's why you don't feel bad. And instead of running away, taking a drink, or go out jogging, or put on the TV, or reading a novel, or whatever is the way to run away. There's nothing wrong with anything of this, of course, but it can be used for running away. Instead of running away, we ask the question, why is it here? Why don't I feel good? And instead of blaming other people, that, oh, they're their fault. That's why I don't feel good because he said this and so on. We're blaming the environment, huh? Instead, we have to look, but maybe something with me. Hmm? When we're coming closer, maybe something with me. So then we go to therapy or something, huh? Or we end up after therapy, we end up here, so to speak. I still don't feel good. I actually feel worse, maybe. Now we have to ask a question. Why do I feel like this? And then you start to look. Maybe there is an idea behind it, and it is usually that. We don't feel good, we don't feel bad for nothing. It's just some kind of reason for it. And the reason is that we have beliefs about ourselves, which is triggering these emotions, which is triggering the attention of the body, and maybe even triggering other destructive beliefs as well. And this is what we are looking at in ourselves between the sessions and in the individual sessions, to see, why do I feel like this? So instead of running to the cave, oh, you need to meditate more. You just go to the meditation. You'll be fixed, you just meditate. Okay, there can be some kind of temporary release because you feel good and you meditate. Why? Because you don't believe in thoughts. I don't know if you noticed in the beginning when we had this guided meditation that there is no question about the present. There is no questioning of the present moment in this non-doing meditation. And there is no idea that I'm not good enough for something. It's not there. There is no idea that I have to fix life. I have to pull myself together and do something. I don't know what. I don't know what to start. I have to do it. I have to. All these ideas, which makes our life miserable, they are not active during meditation. And what happens then? What happens then when we don't believe these thoughts about the awful future and all that? We see how it is. We see how it is. Oh, it's a beautiful place here. Some kind of just being here. Just being present. And the story seems to be far away in this meaning that it doesn't matter what happens in the so-called personal story. It doesn't have any influence over me. I'm untouched by it. So to speak, the presence, there's some kind of presence. And then we come out from the meditation, and then the ideas are believed to be true again. Huh? We don't believe what the neighbors say. Oh, I don't have the same opinion as you. I know you're protesting quite much, and our partner maybe. Oh no. But if it comes in our own head, it's true. Why is it true? Because it comes in my head. It has to be true, of course. It has to be true because it comes in my head. Why should it be true? Because it comes in your head. Totally illogical, huh? We're questioning other people's beliefs about life and themselves and about us, but we never question our own thoughts. And it's only our own thoughts which hides the enlightened state to not be seen because it's already here behind it. So that is why we are working with much question our beliefs about ourselves and the world and others. It's not a very big job, quite quick actually, but it has to be done. Maybe I went off the track now, Fritz. You want to say something more?
I think that's it for now.
Okay, thank you, Fritz. Yeah. Somebody else?
In the chat, there is a question in the chat.
Okay, yeah. But before I take it, I just say that the basis of all this work, the basis of your search for an alternative way of living, the basis is your longing. It is your longing inside you which makes you come here. It is your longing inside you which makes you feel that you want to sit and just be. And this non-doing meditation is nothing. It's just an exercise if it's coming from the head. Just forget it. If it comes from the longing, I want to sit and just be and follow these instructions. It's 3 simple instructions. Then it's working. Because it's not thinking which is meditating then. It is your longing for freedom, longing for not suffering, longing for peace, longing for love or whatever. It shows itself in you uniquely. It is that longing which is starting and actually meditating all the time. That's why it works. Because there is no meditator. There's also just a belief. It's very important to understand that this is not, we don't have any exercises here. It is the truth itself, the longing to come home, which is the starting point for this non-doing meditation. And then it works. I just wanted to say this. And when you come out from meditation to daily activity, it's also the same longing. It's the same longing to come home, which makes us have the motivation to question our beliefs, which are so holy for us. We see that we have had them so long time, we don't question them. There's something wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you. And so on. And everyone is unique here. That's why we have individual sessions, because everyone has a unique story. And it changes all the time. An instruction which is coming in one session will be the opposite maybe the week after, because you have changed. It's totally unique. That's why it works. I don't know if anybody had any comment on this. I don't know. The dogs like meat. I'm reading a question here. The dogs like meat, but they lose weight in Arambol because everyone is vegan. Okay. Is it supposed to be a comment on that? Or I don't know. Floyd, what is your expected reaction on this? Or is it just a comment maybe? Where do beliefs come from? Beliefs are thoughts. And thoughts has 2 parts. And that is a tricky one, because in our cases, we usually see them as one. A thought comes, and it, as we said, is true. They are almost identical. But actually, they are 2 different parts. The thought in itself is harmless. Even the thought, I'm not good enough, is actually harmless. But when it is believed to be true, that is where the problem starts. So if the thought is coming, I'm not good enough, you can just you can just laugh about it. But if it's believed to be true, then it's getting very serious. It trigger emotions, trigger tension in the body, trigger other destructive beliefs maybe, and so on. So beliefs or thought we are believed to be true. So where do they come from? Yeah. Where are thoughts coming from? Now we have to go a little bit deeper here. Because if we don't create the thoughts, who is creating them, or what is creating them? It's going to be a little bit theoretical, because probably it's not your reality yet. But the answer is that there is only one reality. Reality has the property of being one. It's like the ocean and the waves. One reality. And in the non-dual meditation, we discover this one being inside us, the sense of being here. And we see that it has a quality of being one. But when it doesn't seem to be one, no? Seems to be duality here. A lot of things, all the time, all the time, all the time. So even if you see this one being or presence or awareness or whatever you want to call it inside in meditation, it doesn't sound, it's nothing to do with outside, so to speak, outside. Second step, because there's 4 steps. The second step, the second shift is to see that this samsara outside is actually nirvana. That is a discovery. That there's not 2 here. That the nirvana, which is so say nirvana is it's discovered inside, is one being, one presence, is actually showing itself as samsara, as the story, as the ocean is showing itself as the waves. And you are the ocean. You are the ocean, showing itself as a personal story. Your personal story. We first go away from the story to this beautiful place inside, and then we're coming back to it again, realizing that I am the personal story also. I'm the ocean and I'm the wave. So everything which is rising is this presence or being showing itself as what is in the moment. That's a long answer on a short question, I know. But it was somehow triggered in that way. So the answer to the question is, where do the beliefs come from? Where do the thought comes from? It's actually, it is coming from reality itself. Reality which is one, showing itself as what is in the moment, including thoughts. This is theory. And we don't have any teaching here. So the best way to realize that this is actually true is to see it. Don't believe me. See it yourself. It is your discovery that this is so, that reality is one. And you are that reality. And the reality is not only one, it also has 2, which can be quite surprising when it comes, is total love and it's total bliss. Big words here, very big words. I can't find anything better. I'm not the only one. So I don't know if it's, that was Artem. Is that a answer to your question, or do you want to comment on this?
Yes, it was very valuable for me to understand that thought is consists of 2 parts.
Yeah.
The belief that is true. So I can see just now that I am stick with some thoughts, with these beliefs, and thinking that it's true, but actually it's not true. And this is what makes me suffering.
Yes, and then you can go a little bit further by saying, okay, I believe one thought about me. For instance, I'm not good enough. And I see that it's a thought which can be true, can be believed or not true, to believe to be true or not believe to be true. Then you say, okay, so how would this moment be felt then, if I don't believe it to be true? You can let it sink in and wait a little bit. Just taking one deep breath first, and then you say to yourself, so how is this moment felt if I don't believe that I'm not good enough? Let it sink in and wait and see what happens. It's not an affirmation, it's not a mind game. It's stating the truth. Directly coming from the truth. Of course you are good enough. But we're not going on the mind level trying to debate with the mind. Oh, to say this is not true, what you have said to me for 40 years. No, we don't go there. We go directly, we join the mind and saying, how would it be felt if I don't believe this thought? Just wait, just let it sink in and wait. It can be an opening. This is one of the methods we are using actually in the individual sessions also. It's better to use it in individual sessions and in most, not in general. But as you say it now, that it came this way then. You want to say something, Artem?
No, thank you.
No, okay, yeah. Okay. Anything else? Or should we go to the party? Maybe it is like this. We have to talk about it a bit after this meeting, how we can arrange it in such a way that many people can come. But we will take it after the meeting here. So if Floyd and Lena and Tanya and me can be here afterwards, we can talk about it together. Maybe we can split in two groups or something. One for Europe and United States and one for India, for instance, or Asia. No questions?
Just a comment. I'd say,
Yeah.
since this is the first English only meeting, might just take a little time for the word to get around.
It can be so. It can be so. But I know it as because in India now it's a dinner time and be with friends and dancing time now. So that's why we have to a little bit
Saturday
think
night.
about that. Yeah, exactly. Why are we here then? Yes. Maybe we can close by just sitting in 2-3 minutes in silence together. That would be nice. And then we see each other next week. If there's any changes, we will put it on the WhatsApp group, of course. Thank you for today. Okay, thank you very much.